ॐ नमो नारायणाय ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः ॐ समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् ॐ सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां हरिः ओम्। Suswagatam. We all are studying chapter number 4 of Bhagavad Gita. In the last session, we have seen how the action can take us to that supreme level of actionlessness. Actionlessness. This actionlessness, please note it, it's not no action. It is not inactivity. This actionlessness is a completeness, and that completeness is because of the right knowledge. That right knowledge, which is now the aparoksha jnana, which is called as aparoksha jnana. First, when we listen, so we gather the information, and once we gather the information, then we process it. This is a right word to use. We process it. Where do we process it? We process it in our mind and intellect. That's called as subtle body. What is called as this processing? This processing is called as mananam. Can you please put off your audio, and please do not switch on your audio. It is disturbing to me as well as everyone. So when I put your audio off, please let it be off. So coming back, one must understand that that action which takes us to that actionlessness, and as I said, this knowledge First we gather it as information, then we process it in our subtle body, which is called as mananam, reflection. With that you gain the conviction. This conviction is extremely important aspect for nididhyasanam. Unless and until you reach to the top level of conviction. Now here a seeker has to dwell, a seeker has to take a good deep in one's own mind and intellect, and then understand the import of this knowledge. It takes long time because of our past impressions are so strong. Past impressions are so strong that the mind and intellect no doubt accept it, but it does not accept it as supreme. Please note this. So when it does not accept it as supreme, your conviction cannot be complete. It cannot be complete. Example, simple example, that if somebody wants to marry, and if he is not convinced that this person, whosoever he or she is marrying, is a good person or fine person, or I am fine with that person, you can't marry. I am talking about nowadays, not previous era where nobody used to ask what is what. But I think those marriages are more successful than today's marriage, what we see and observe. Okay, so coming back. So that is called as conviction. We must able to understand that to reach to the supreme conviction is self-effort. Please note it. To reach to the supreme conviction is a self-effort, is a self-effort, is a self-effort. And here a seeker has to really struggle hard. Why? Now please note it. Why? Because the mind is so much into the temporary enjoyment of this happiness with objects or by objects. It is too much attached to it, and to take away that mind and remove that attachments completely and take it to that level of conviction is the task, is the task. So one must able to understand that the time taken is to shift our attention from the world of objects to that supreme. That is the time taken by the mind and intellect. So how much time it will take? Now nobody can tell us that who can take what time, what duration of time. As one's own understanding is clear, reflection is clear, and one who is continuously observing this world as an absolute essence-less. Please note it. There is actually nothing. Why? Because there are only 5 elements all around us in different forms and with different names. But it appears to be very dry, Swamiji, what are you talking? 5 elements? Don't you see the beauty of the flower? That's why you are Swami. Because one who cannot enjoy the beauty, what else that person can be? Okay, just a lighter moment. So this is how this mind does not actually understand the reality, and therefore it just go round and round, and again says, no, there is some sort of flaw in understanding of our rishis. They were little different, so but not today's condition is different. So this is where one has to be very clear. Scriptural injunction is final. My all experiences are absolutely what it called as illusory. They are unreal. What scripture says, that alone is supreme. This person, now just imagine, which is called as Shraddha. Shastreshu Guruvakyeshu Sampurna Vishwasa. Sampurna Vishwas. That is a Shraddha. So that Shraddha takes us from absolute nothing we know about that supreme, but this takes it from that level of ignorance to the level of supreme, and that is a power of Shraddha. That is a power of Shraddha. And how many examples we have. Very cute and a very simple example which I really love is Shabri Mata. There is nothing else but so firm faith in Guru. So firm faith in Guru that whatever my Guru says is Brahma Vakya, and that's all. There is nothing else I have to think about. So she did not ask how much time I should take Ramanama, how many years it will take that Ramji will come to me. Nothing. It is a sadhana. It is my duty because there is no other thing in my life, and I have one and one duty to worship Lord. That's all. मुझे है काम ईश्वर से, जगत रूठे तो रूठन दे. That much of understanding that I have nothing to do now. There is only one and one supreme goal. Why I am giving so much of insistence on this subject, which is called as conviction, because that is the crux. To reach to the conviction, and that requires self-effort. With Shraddha, one has to just step one point ahead. Okay, so this is how Bhagavan has beautifully mentioned here that how this person can reach to actionlessness. Now please understand, this actionlessness is called as sannyasa. Is real sannyas. Why? Where there is no doership. Doership is renounced. Now, how to understand that I have renounced the doership? What is a sign? What is a sign? The first is no insistence on the result of action. Zero insistence. Whatever result comes, one accept it as a prasada of Bhagavan. Whatever, good, bad, that is a label which we put. Good and bad, that is a label we put. Example, like now a new variant is into the picture of this world canvas. And again people says, my God, now it was quite fine. And we were thinking that in few days we will plan our spiritual tours. And what happened now? See, Bhagavan is not kind enough to take us to the pilgrimage also. So my dear, one has to understand whatever is his wish is final. You can definitely think what best you want. So, beautiful lines are there. It is said, if you want to make Bhagavan laugh, then you tell your plans to Bhagavan. And that's all. So Bhagavan to laugh is so easy because we with egocentric desire keep doing plans. I want to do, I want to do, I want this, I want that. And Bhagavan says, my dear, when you know that karturagyaya prapyate phalam, you can only do action, but you can't insist any result of your action. That is totally under the control of this universal, almighty intelligence. Okay, so this point which is now explained here, actionlessness is real sannyas. And what is that? Where there is no insistence on any result of any action, and there is no attachment, no trace and iota of attachment to any action, and there is no imagination of any external object and happiness due to the object. There is no expectation at all, because this person has reached to that source of happiness which is called as bliss. That person is reached to that source. Example, the simple example you have to just understand. When a small sapling is there and you put water, and water, it grows and grows. So for 6 months, for 1 year, we have to water that plant. Once it grows and the main root of it reaches to the source of soil water. Now, oh dear, your job is finished. Why? It has reached to the source of water. Now, whether you give water on the surface of the earth or you don't give, doesn't make a difference. It remains forever green. This is what happens to this person. Please note this example. This is what happens to this person. Forever this person is in joy. So let me remind you our quotation which we could find out from the study of Bhagavad Gita. Live in joy, not for joy. This is the state. Live in joy wherever you are. Live in joy, not for joy. Not by going out you are going to get happiness. Not by reaching to any object you are going to get happiness. If you get, it is an illusory experience, no doubt about it. It is a temporary experience because of our own likes and dislikes. Okay. So, Let us chant two verses which we could see yesterday. Verse number 17 and verse number 18. Karmannyo hyapi bodhavyam bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi. Karmanya karmaya pashet akarmani cha karmayaha sabuddhiman manusheshu sayukta krishna karma krita. Now, having listened to such a beautiful explanation of that knowledge and reaching to the peak of its experience called as actionlessness. Now Bhagavan, can you please tell me how is this person and how he lives his life? Does he remain in this world or not, or he takes samadhi? Arjuna, nothing happens sort of. He very much remains in this world and does his job very efficiently. Bhagavan, are you trying to tempt me or what for this action? Arjuna, I don't have to tempt, but if you realize the importance of the knowledge, you will definitely strive for it. Bhagavan, please tell me then this symptoms, the beautiful signs of this man of wisdom. Verse number 19. Yasya sarve samarambhaha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagni-dagdha karmanam tamahu panditam buddhaha. Yasya sarve samarambhaha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagni-dagdha karmanam tamahu panditam buddhaha. Buddhaha. What is called as buddhaha? Wise people. Tam. Tam means to that person. Which person? To that person who has taken up one's own mind to that level of absolute knowledge. What they call? Panditam. They call this person as Pandita. What is called as Pandita? People understand general level of Pandit means what? Those who do puja, they are called as Pandita. But here the Pandit means one who has gained the Pradnya. Pradnya means that absolute knowledge and its first hand experience. That Pradnya. And that person is called as Panditaha. Panda is equal to Pradnya. And this Pradnya is called as absolute experience of the supreme knowledge. So, that is the name which all Buddhaha give it to this person. So, all wise people call this person as Panditaha. Hope it is clear. So, Swamiji, then we understand we are not falling in that category at all. Yes, we all are in different category which is called as one, and one which is called as name, which is sweetly given by Adi Shankaracharya ji, called as O Mudhamate. That is called that's why Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam Mudhamate. So Mudhata, this is a beautiful name given by Adi Shankaracharya ji to all of us, and it sounds very beautiful, though we, think that we are not of that sort, but it sounds very nice. Fine. Then what? It says, Yasya sarve samarambhaha kama sankalpa varjita. All his actions are kama sankalpa varjita. Varjit means without. Kama means desire. Sankalpa means also that which is called as planning, imagination, determination, all. So, how it happens? It is because of the ego. So, ego has this wrong notion that by the action let me gain the happiness, and therefore the desire arises. Please note, why? Because if we get into the action, no doubt we get the experience. When we get the experience, we get attached to the experience and we want again that experience. And therefore, the mind gets attached to the similar experience and wants to do the same action again and again and again and again, and therefore it gets totally attached to that action. Now, having renounced this ego, what remains? No doership is there. So, when there is no doership, there is no enjoyership. So, there is nothing to gain from the action and there is nothing lose by doing the action. These 2 points one has to understand. What it is called as complete selflessness, where there is nothing called as I want this or I want that from action, and there is nothing called as I will lose this or I will lose that from the action. So, such selfless person, such person is called as Panditaha. And how are these actions? Kama sankalpa varjitaha, without any desire, without any desire prompted activities. No such activities at all. Then what is the result, O Bhagavan? Arjuna, because the achievement is extraordinary, therefore the result is extraordinary. Bhagavan, please tell no. Yes, Jnanagni Dagdha Karmanam. What is the result? That is the result. Jnana Agni, by the fire of knowledge. Sarva Karmani Dagdha. That means all his karmas get completely destroyed. Completely. My God, from births together which we have all accumulated, called as Sanchita Karma, all get destroyed in one go. Yes. In one go, everything gets destroyed. Like that of, if a piece of paper, you put it in fire, nothing remains. Every corner of it gets completely destroyed. Similarly, O Arjuna, with this knowledge, nothing remains behind at all. Nothing remains behind at all. So, which karmas get completely destroyed? Again, one has to be very clear. One is called as Sanchita Karma and one is called as Agami Karma. So, there is no Sanchita Karma for this person, there is nothing called as Agami, but the Prarabdha Karma, because of which this body is already gained. So, this body does not get destroyed just because this person gains the supreme knowledge. This body goes slowly, slowly, slowly ahead as per its own prarabdha. So in Vivek Chudamani said, prarabdham pushyate vapuhu. This is point to be noted. Our body is going ahead and ahead in whatever state and condition is because of our own prarabdham, and it will keep going till there is this so called as fuel of our own prarabdha. Fuel of our own prarabdha. So it will go on and on, on and on, on and on. So we have observed, or we observe, there are n number of people on bed with very critical condition, but they remain for years together. My God. And people, as well as the person, thinks, oh, let me give up this body now. But my dear, the fuel is still there. Nobody can do anything. Similarly, sometimes by accident, someone just go tuck up. What happened? The fuel is over, and that's all. And now that body can't just function at all. So this fuel is called as our own prarabdha. So this prarabdha will go as and when it has to finish, and it will get finished. So such is the condition of this person who reaches to this level of knowledge. Bhagavan, then does he do action, or he does only action for some time and then gives up? Does he get bound by this action? Now listen, O Arjuna, how is his way of remaining in this life? Verse number 2020. Tyaktva karma phala sangam. Tyaktva karma phala sangam. Karma phala sanga. Nityatrupto nirashrayah. Nityatrupto nirashrayah. Karmanyabhipravrittopi. Karmanyabhipravrittopi. Naiva kinchit karoti yaha. Naiva kinchit karoti yaha. Harihi Om. Bhagavan says here, Tyaktva. Tyaktva means having given up, having renounced. What is karma phala sanga? Karma phala sanga. That means attachment to the fruits of action. So what is to be given up? This one has to be very firmly keep it in mind. This fruits of action, let us not get attached at all, and that's a great sadhana. You can choose your different action in whatever field you want, but let us give up this karma phala sangaha. So what he has given up? Karma phala sangaha. Then what is the status of this person? Now this is beautiful. How could he give it up? By right knowledge. That one should be very clear up. That this Bhagavan is telling about Jnana Karma Sannyasa. Jnana Karma Sannyasa. So that completeness this person has achieved by right knowledge. What is the result of it, O dear Lord? The result of it is Nityatruptaha. Nityatrupta means forever. Nitya means that which is permanent. Trupta means completeness. contented, complete contentment, nitya trupta. Now we should able to understand these two conditions. We also sometimes feel, oh ho ho, now whatever I wanted to achieve, I could achieve. What was that, oh dear? See, I wanted a good job or good business, that I could get it. Then I could marry a good person, that is done. Then I could have a good children, that was done. Then their marriage also, I did it very nicely, elaborately, and that's how. What? That's how, and that's how I achieved completeness. Now there is no incompleteness. Oh my dear, no doubt this is called as you have done your kartavya karma, but this is no guarantee of remaining nitya trupta. There is no guarantee of nitya trupta. Nitya means by any situation or by any means or by any factor, when there is no possibility of incompleteness at all. That is called as nitya trupta. There is no possibility. Rarest rare, there is no possibility. And such is the nitya truptata. How is it possible? Arjuna, should I tell you a secret of it? Bhagwan, who other can tell us a secret? Okay, listen. Nirashrayaha. Nirashraya means there is no refuge in any object or any person. Swamiji, can you please take these words back only? We have, some attachment to our own near and dear, and they are only 2, 3. How can you be what I can put with heartless. This is heartless person to say don't have any attachment to your near and dear. I am not talking about with the world, but I am talking about only 4 people, Swamiji. My dear, Nirashraya is that this person does not take refuge in object or person for any happiness pursuit. That is called as Nirashraya. There is no such thought. There is no such thought where this person can think of object for his happiness or any person for his happiness or any experience of the world for his happiness. And that's how he has taken the ashraya only and only of that Supreme Lord who is complete, who is source of bliss, and therefore there is no other requirement for this person at all. Now here one has to be very clear, unless and until a seeker meditates, that person will never understand what is called as Nirashraya. Because you should get that glimpse at least that by not connected to any object, by not any action, or not by any thought, or not by any imagination, I could experience that bliss. This glimpse at least somebody should get. And then only that person can understand, yes, it is possible. It is possible. So therefore regular meditation for a seeker is must, where he can grow above this body, mind and intellect and experience for short time even if it is for short time, that peace and bliss without this upadhi. So nirashraya, having reached to this supreme state of existence. Now please, what I use the word, I'll repeat, supreme state of existence. What is now his life? One who lives again on this earth, karmanyabhipravrittopi, he keeps doing his action as per the requirement of the situation. Naiva kinchit karoti saha, that there is nothing called as now doership. So there is nothing called as now that this person has done this and therefore he is getting this papa and punya of his action. Naiva kinchit karoti saha, having done also an action, it is as if there is no action. As if there is no action. And now we have understood what is called as this no action, that where karmani akarma pashet akarmani cha karmayaka. So this is the first statement which is beautifully explained here. Karmanya abhipravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. Even though there is action, but there is no action. Similarly, here also those actions are seen on this body, mind and intellect level. He also does required action by this body. He also thinks correctly. He also gives idea, but that are all having no doership behind it at all. There is nothing called as egocentric attitude behind any body, mind or intellectual action. And such person, when he does action, remains always in this state called as naiva kinchit karoti saha. That is called as having done actions also, but he experiences that actionlessness. Bhagavan, why are you explaining so much about that actionlessness? And you are trying to tell me do action, and you are trying to tell me to reach to actionlessness. Arjuna, can you please tell me what is your idea of actionlessness? Bhagavan, actionlessness means person who knows now there is no requirement of the action. Let me just be like that. Oh Arjuna, this is not what I am telling you. Then what? Arjuna, this actionlessness is karmani abhipravrittopi. This person keeps doing all his kartavya karma, whatever as per the situation, wherever he is, whatever role he takes up, but his actions are no action because he has already renounced that doership of the action. Ahankara vimudhatma karta iti manyate. Bhagavan is telling to all of us, there is only ahankar which is expressed as doership of the action. When there is no doership of the action at all, that means ahankar is not there. And that's how the actions keep happening as per the requirement of the situation and as per the body prarabdha. But he is asangaha, karma phala sangaha, karma phala asangaha. That means karma phala sanga tyaktva. Asanga is the nature of this mind and intellect. There is nothing holding back. Now please take up this message from very strong message. Do not keep holding on anything, no experience, which is called as brooding over the experiences of the past, which is the sign of ignorance. No brooding over of any past experience. Oh Swamiji, you are taking us our happiness. Sometimes when I am too sad, then I look at my beautiful photographs of a childhood and also in younghood, and then I enjoy it so much, Swamiji. No, no, if you are doing this, it's also going back into the past and bringing past into the present, and that is nothing but we are strengthening our ego. Ask one who is enjoying. Who is enjoying? The answer comes one and one, that is ego. So, this is how Arjuna understand this actionlessness is not inactivity. This actionlessness is having done the action also. There is no doership in the action, and therefore the action reaches to this supreme level of actionlessness. Let us contemplate. Wherever you are sitting, on the floor or on the chair, take a proper posture. Keep your back straight, neck straight, eyes closed, pleasant experience, expression on the face. Focus on your breathing for a minute. Observe the air which comes in and goes out. Shift your attention to the discussion of the class today. The person who gains this experience of supreme knowledge reaches to that actionlessness. All the wise people call this person as Panditaha, one whose prajna is very well awakened, called as a complete knowledge of the self. How are his actions? Kama sankalpa varjita. Without any desire prompted attitude. No action is because of any desire prompting. It is not because of egoistic attitude. It is not because of any incompleteness. One who reaches here, what is the result of this knowledge and the experience of the knowledge? Jnanagdi dagdha karmanam. All the actions are completely annihilated, burnt because of the supreme knowledge, the fire of supreme knowledge. The right understanding about this is one who was carrying wrong notions are completely now removed, destroyed by this knowledge of the Supreme Self. Does he do action or not? Yes. His actions are from the completeness. His actions are not because of any wrong notion of demanding happiness from object or any person in the world. He has only taken the refuge in the Supreme Self. And therefore, there is complete detachment to the fruits of action. Such a person keeps doing his action as required by the situation or the role he takes up in life. But those actions which are performed by this body, mind and intellect does not have any egocentric attitude at all. And therefore, there is no binding effect of the action. Such person, having done the actions, these actions are action less or no action. These actions are considered as no action because of no doership behind. Complete silence, complete trupti, contentment, complete surrender. Om Purnamada पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम।
ॐ नमो